Thank you, Chair Hepner, Superintendent Pontrelli, members of the board. My name is Carl Blondin. I live in Stillwater, Minnesota. There is nothing wrong with firmly stating political opinions. There is something terrible about making false and defamatory statements about other people in order to promote a political agenda. It is just as terrible to praise and encourage false and defamatory statements for political purposes. On July 25th, I attended a public forum at the Water Street Inn in Stillwater, Minnesota. One of the speakers or presenters at this forum made the false and defamatory claim that at the time of the district's bond sale, an employee of the district issued a check to that employee's spouse without further approval from this board. Everything derogatory that this presenter said about our employee was false. The employee named by the speaker did not write, make out, issue, or cause to be issued a check to the employee's spouse or the employee's spouse's employer, nor did our employee transfer money to the employee's spouse or the spouse's employer, or at any time touch, control, or handle money that was paid to the employee's spouse or spouse's employer. All disbursements of funds from the bond sale and payments made to others were properly and lawfully made by Piper Jaffray, the firm that handled the bond sale pursuant to the contract this board made with Piper Jaffray. Our employee did not handle or disperse any money from the bond sale or pay anyone with proceeds from the bond sale. The presenter's attack on our employee was 100% false. No one could possibly fail to recognize that this presenter's comments were defamatory. All documents related to the bond sale are public data, and any member of the public may read them and see that this speaker's allegations against our employee were all 100% false. Unfortunately, this uncivil behavior did not end with the defamatory statements of this particular speaker. After the public forum, Independent School District 834 Director Sarah Stivland posted a comment on social media stating, quote, "I was really impressed with the great information shared by all presenters. Open parenthesis, not surprised though. Exclamation point, close parenthesis, smiley face emoji. You should definitely do this again sometime after school starts." Director Stivland, who is well educated about how money from the bond sale was distributed, knew that statements made by the presenter attacking our employee were false and defamatory.
Excuse me, I'm just reading that, and what it says is we will stop proceedings immediately if employee or student privacy issues are raised.
You've banged the hammer on us many times for less than that, George. Come on.
Well, I'm not going to carry on it. I'm not going to carry on a discussion with you, but since board members are not either employees or staff.
That's what I thought when I said your name too, but.
You banged the hammer.
I'm not going to bang the hammer.
Okay.
We'll leave it
Interesting.
to Carl's judgment. Thank you.
Ms. Stivland, let me make it clear to you right now. False and defamatory statements are not great information. They are false and they are defamatory. Director Stivland abetted what she knew to be inflammatory defamation.
I think so. There it is. Okay. Can I have a moment after he's done speaking to just respond briefly to what he's saying?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
If I may continue. Director Stivland abetted what she knew to be inflammatory defamation. Defamation that could well have a serious negative impact on our employees' reputation and financial position. I pointed out to Director Stivland that this particular presenter made false and defamatory statements about the ISD 834 employee. Director Stivland has so far refused to distance herself from the false and defamatory statements. Director Stivland's conduct is well outside of what we as a community consider to be civil. Director Stillwater's partisan support of a person defaming a district employee creates a hostile work environment and exposes this district to legal liability. This board should do two things. First, the board should issue a statement supporting our employee and condemning the speaker for false and defamatory statements about our employee. Second, Minnesota law allows school boards to remove members for proper cause. Let me suggest that proper cause includes a director abetting and encouraging false and defamatory statements about district employees. It is proper cause for two reasons. First, we as a community do not tolerate bullying or defamation. Second, we can ill afford a board member who puts the public treasury at risk by praising and encouraging false and defamatory statements.
Time up.
Director Stillwater's statements and behavior are beyond the pale of what we as a community to be civil.
Thank you, Carl. Your
Thank you.
time is up.
If I could just...
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Carl, as much as I do actually appreciate your taking the time to be here, because I value community engagement, probably right up at the very top of my values in terms of my role here, I really appreciate you coming here and stating that. I do have a couple of responses I would like to share, though. Number one, the comment that you're referring to was on a very closed small group site that I don't think hardly anybody else has seen, and I have since removed the comment that you listed in your statement. So that's done. I did respond, okay? Number two, the hostile work environment that you're describing does not arise from my being here or anything that I have said or done. It arises from decisions that were made by this board before my time here. So the hostile work environment is related to the nature of our community right now and the situation that we're in. Okay, it really has not that much to do with my words that I'm saying today, or yours for that matter. Number three, I have freedom of speech. Even as I sit here on the board and represent our district, I still am an American citizen. I have freedom of speech, and I have the freedom to attend whatever rallies or town hall meetings or other kinds of community events. I have the right to do that, and so does everyone else up here on this board, as do you and everyone else in this room. And I value that very, very highly. Freedom of speech is a very, very important part of our American democracy. And finally, I would like to say that the facts you're raising regarding the particular employee and the issues that were raised in the comments that were at that event are continuing to be evolved. I think that everyone has their own kind of set of facts that they're looking at, and there are a lot of different variabilities involved, and I believe that is still one of the court cases that is still out there that is going to be determined at a future date. So I don't really know what the truth is until the courts have decided. That's for them to decide. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
With that, to our second speaker, Dee Dee Armstrong.